It's said to be merely bread. Yet this bread hovers in the air, emits light, and pulsates. All of this has been documented. No blood or human tissue is observed, unlike other renowned Eucharistic miracles. Here, a different kind of sign manifests. Fire that doesn't consume, luminosity emanating from the levitating tabernacle, the countenance of Jesus revealed in the bread with no apparent coloration, as if sculpted into the host itself. Scientists, after examining it with specialized cameras, admitted, "He is present. We perceived him." What we will recount is not artistic license. It is Jesus manifesting himself in a tangible, authentic, and direct manner. Stay attentive, because what you are about to witness will astound you. Music. Numerous people have heard about Eucharistic wonders, hosts that bleed, that transform into flesh, that reveal human heart tissue. This has occurred multiple times throughout history to clergy who question the true presence of Jesus in the consecrated host. However, here we will address a distinct, less widely known category of Eucharistic miracles. Fire that doesn't burn emanating from the tabernacle, light emerging from the receptacle, hosts floating in the air, faces imprinted on the host without any physical pigmentation, cameras that recorded what the human eye could not discern, and scientists who, upon leaving a chapel, declared, "We are certain he is there. Our cameras confirm it." Father Robert de Grandis recounted what happened in a modest North American chapel in the 1970s. A group of researchers, associated with an image analysis team that had collaborated with NASA, arrived with a set of special cameras designed to capture various ranges of light imperceptible to humans. Their intention was not religious. Their purpose was to investigate in a controlled environment whether any type of energy alteration was detected in the vicinity of the tabernacle. They requested permission to install their equipment overnight and left the cameras recording, while the tabernacle remained sealed and without human presence. What they captured left them astonished. From the tabernacle emanated projections of intense, unidentifiable light, whose strength and orientation varied, as if from within. One of the researchers, visibly moved, asked the priest, "What's inside?" The clergyman replied, "Jesus is in there." The scientist then acknowledged, "We know, our cameras captured it." In the 1980s in Paris, a non-believing scientist agreed to enter a chapel at the insistence of a friend. He was convinced that religion made no sense. He only agreed out of courtesy. The chapel was empty and silent. The tabernacle was at the back, lit by only a few candles. His friend knelt, while he remained standing and took a few steps toward the altar. Suddenly, he felt a wave of heat pass through his chest. It was a physical, intense, unexpected sensation, not emotional, but bodily, a genuine thermal perception that seemed to come directly from the center of the altar, from the tabernacle itself. He stepped back, sat down, and shortly after, fled the place disturbed. Days later, he returned alone, again in front of the tabernacle, and this time he felt his knees, not by suggestion, but by conviction. That encounter transformed his life. He never wanted to give interviews or appear publicly, but several witnesses knew his story. This is recounted by Father James Bruce of St. Benedict Joseph Labrie Parish in the 1990s in Virginia, United States. During a liturgical celebration, several attendees began to witness something that seemed unbelievable, a column of flames rising from the altar to the ceiling. It wasn't smoke or light effects, but pure fire, though invisible to some. It was said that only those in a state of grace could perceive it. It was not a collective hallucination, as various witnesses described it with similar words. All affirmed that it was an intense, vertical flame that did not burn, but radiated a sense of holiness that was almost overwhelming. The officiating priest, James Bruce, also began to experience mystical phenomena. He received the stigmata, and his body, specifically his hands and feet, bled during Mass. Diocesan authorities took note, and an investigation was launched. The local bishop publicly acknowledged that something extraordinary was occurring, although no official judgment was issued. The fire that many saw was, according to their testimonies, the manifestation of the real presence in its purest form, a living flame of divine love, ardent but not destructive. This event was indeed documented in Lourdes, France, in 1999, during a solemn Mass. The event took place when the plenary assembly of French bishops was presided over by the Archbishop of Lyon and televised. The video shows a large host rising a few centimeters above the paten at the moment of consecration. There are no visible wires or pulleys. It simply rose as if floating and remained suspended for several seconds. The audience remained silent. There were no shouts, only astonishment. The video still circulates, and some, although it is attempted to explain it as mere optical effects, those present perceive it as an undeniable reality, an instant where the bread ceased its usual behavior to follow a different logic. On December 8, 1991, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, in the Church of Finca Battania, during the Midnight Mass, Father Odenil Aristizabal witnessed how the consecrated host began to bleed onto the paten. He was a priest in a crisis of faith, about to take a sabbatical year, and this Mass could have been his farewell. The host was analyzed, and the liquid was confirmed to be human blood type AB, identical to that found on the Shroud of Turin and other Eucharistic miracles. In February 1992, the Bishop of Los Tex, Monsignor Pio Bello Riccardo, officially recognized it as a miraculous phenomenon and authorized its veneration, safeguarding it in a special reliquary and displaying it for adoration. 6 years later, another event unfolded with the same host. In November 1998, an American pilgrim filmed another incident. The very host appeared to ignite in flames, revealing a pulsating, intense red heart during its exposition. It was filmed for nearly 30 seconds. The video is still circulated. Finally, in June 2013, at Christ the King Parish in Villacaner, India, during the consecration, the priest elevated the host and uttered an invocation to the Holy Spirit. Then, something extraordinary occurred. Initially, a dark spot emerged in an outline and subsequently an increasingly clear image, as if something were burning from within, yet without fire. The shape of a human face appeared on the host, and everyone recognized it. It was the face of Jesus. The priest hesitated, believing it to be his imagination, but the image persisted and began to circulate among the faithful. The archbishop kept the host in his residence for years, and then sent it to Italy to be analyzed by scientists. They found no added substance whatsoever. No ink, no paint, no burns. The image had formed from the very material of the host, without external alteration. This miracle was approved in 2025. Jesus sometimes manifests clearly, but his effects are far more widespread. Mother Teresa of Calcutta spent hours before the Blessed Sacrament. The doctors who treated her in her final years observed that after each moment of adoration, her clinical condition improved without medical explanation. Her blood pressure stabilized, her heart rate recovered, and her spirits were renewed. She did not ask for miracles. She simply adored. To these wonders are added other well-known ones, such as the bleeding host in Lanciano, Buenos Aires, and many other places, revealing human cardiac tissue. But we know well that most of the time the host does not change its form, but it transforms everything it touches. This concludes our account of extraordinary, lesser-known Eucharistic miracles. Now, if you enjoyed what we shared, please like this video and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel by activating the notification bell for all updates so you don't miss our videos. And if you wish to support the research of this Catholic Channels team, you can do so through Patreon or YouTube. I'd like to ask you, have you experienced anything special with a consecrated host? What was it? May God bless you and may the Lord show you his face when you need it most.